And if you're one of those lucky people that watch my hashtag 60-second review of Miniland Adventures Prologue, then you'll probably be here because you want to know what the actual full game's like. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and let's take a skizzy, shall we? So I'm sure everyone's asked themselves the question of what would you get if you crossed between Stardew Valley and Minecraft, and basically you'd get this game, minus a bit of story and minus an Ender Dragon. But basically this is kind of the mix of them two both together, and yeah, it kind of works. Obviously if you gaze your eyes straight at the screen, you can see the fact that, well, it's a top-down perspective, kind of reminiscent to the Stardew Valley game. And obviously the craft inside is your Minecraft set. But where Miniland really sets itself apart from all the other games of the same ilk is the fact that, well, you're not just in a land that's already pre-generated for you. You're actually making the land as you go along. Now let me explain that, shall I? Firstly, just like Minecraft, there is a survival or a creative mode, and these are kind of obvious if you've ever played Minecraft. One, you get creatures attacking you. The other is kind of like you just create as you go along. As you actually start the game, make the name up, blah blah blah. As you can see, you're set in little grids, and each grid is kind of like a portion of land. Now, these are all different types of land that you can get, like a woodland, rockland, iceland, loads of different ones. And within the day and night cycle, every time you go through one and out the other end, as in nighttime to daytime, you get a load more of these, like almost, I don't know, it kind of like to me feels like cards. And then what you do with these cards is you set them down and they turn into actual populated land. Some with animals, trees, as I've said, rocks and all that lot. All of this stuff you can mine. And there's even in some of them little ladders that you can climb down and go into like dungeons. And this is where you're going to get a lot of your actual stuff to build with and all. But obviously not exclusive to these areas. You'll also probably meet your first creatures, and I mean the deadly type that will try to kill you down these areas as well. And if like me, you'll probably end up running scared away from them. Run away! The crafting system is actually pretty decent and pretty solid. You get all your usual like pickaxes and everything that you have to craft. And you start simple with wood, then go up to stone, and then get different materials as you progress stronger, blah blah blah. The world is surrounded by water, which is quite lucky because you have to go and drink water and eat food to survive. But then again, given the subject matter here, you'd probably expect that anyway. And yes, you get furnaces, or you make furnaces. You also get workbenches, and I thought in a pretty cool way there are different like crafting tables, if you like, that you can use, like carpeting and things like that. And obviously as you gain different materials, different options come up all the time. And yeah, this actually feels quite intuitive after a while. I have to admit it took me a little bit to get into it, alongside the controls, which I have to admit kind of took me a while to get used to, and I'm not even quite sure why, because I played games like this before, not exactly like this, but I'm not quite sure what like held me back, but something did. What really heightened this game, and the prologue I thought was a brilliant game, but you couldn't save on it. Now this you can save on, and trust me, being able to save a game like this is like just so good. It has to be saved, which is why the prologue was really good, but kind of like lacked that ability to save the game, which meant that you had to start again every single time you booted the game up. I have to admit I did have a few problems with naming the game, going into the game, saving it, and then coming back. For some reason it doesn't always load up, and the games that I didn't name my town would actually save. The games that I did save my town as a name didn't, so I ended up not calling it anything and just creating a new world. Luckily enough, the name of the place doesn't really matter. There is a shed ton of content within this game, like it just keeps going, and unfortunately I have had to start again, obviously because of starting the actual game and not being on the prologue, and I haven't advanced as much as I wanted to. But obviously I played it a lot But if this thing's anything like Minecraft and there is an end game, then this could take you a fair while to be able to complete. Although I have to admit, even though I played it that many times before and not being able to save it, you would think I'd probably be sick of the game. Weirdly enough, no. The saving of it means that I can get further within the game, which is good. And it really does have an addicting quality to it. I'll just play for another 5-10 minutes, just do this or finish that off before I come off, and then you just find yourself another hour later still playing it. And that, to me, whichever way you look at it, is the sign of a pretty good game, surely. Graphically, as you can see, it looks a bit like Stardew Valley. It's very pixel arty, and I really did feel that these sort of graphics really lent itself to this sort of gameplay. Bright and colourful when it needs to, and dark and foreboding when it has to. And trust me, some of these actual areas do look kind of scary, especially when you can't see around you and you kind of like need to make those torches and the like. Now, sound wise, I turned down the music. I'm sorry, I did, which meant that the whole everything else was kind of sparse. Which I suppose on the whole I didn't really mind. It was just the fact that the animals sometimes really annoyed me because they were just constantly making sounds and it was like, just shut up. In the end I did kill a load of sheep off because they were annoying me as well, but I did get to eat them. And you do also get some wool, which is handy. Oh, and obviously if you kill a llama and things like that, you get leather, which is also pretty handy. But yeah, I was not the greatest fan of the sounds within this game. And so moving on to that part that everybody loves and probably skipping to the score. In short, Miniland Adventure is a fresh take on a pretty big and well used genre. There are loads of games that basically all do pretty well the same, and to be honest with you, most people just stick with Stardew Valley and Minecraft because they are the best of the bunch. But hold your horses there. Miniland does do something different, and I think the way it lets you create your own world, in a way, is possibly one of the freshest things I've seen in one of these games or this genre in a fair while. It works, and the top-down perspective, well, it worked also a lot better than I thought it would do. And with so many different things to craft, so many different areas to go to, so many of these like card biome type things to unlock and see and do things in, it really is well worth getting if you're into this genre, I guess. And that's why I'll be granting Miniland Adventure a 7 out of 10. It's not quite the best, I didn't really like the music, but to me, yeah, it's a pretty good adventure and it's got lots to do. And so with that, thanks for joining me. Hit them like and subscribe buttons, come and join us in our community Discord. Take care and be safe wherever you are, because life is better when we switch together.